Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Prepare to Repair Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, Plumber Steve with RJ Graham Plumbing, and we are doing exactly that. We are here to help. Joining me on the show today is Matt Pehr, the owner of Floor For You and the owner of Perfection Home Improvement. Matt is a regular guy on the show. He was actually my first guest. We were talking about that off the air. How you doing, Matt?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Hey, you're a fixture here.
I try to be.
How many times have you been on the show?
It's either the fourth or the fifth time.
Yeah, you've been on a lot. Because the reason why I have you on is you're good.
I try to be.
You're good at what you do.
It's odd because normally I have nothing. Normally I don't have a whole lot to say.
Oh, you got a ton of stuff to say. People always want to hear what Matt has to say. Me, maybe not so much. It all depends. Today's show is presented by Ferguson Supply Kitchen, Bath, and Lighting Showroom, located at 7950 West 185th Street in beautiful Tinley Park. Whether you are doing a minor facelift or a full kitchen and bath remodel, Ferguson has you covered. Have you ever been to the cruise night that they've had in downtown Frankfurt?
No, but Lincoln actually keeps asking me to go all the time, so we were planning on going, especially since I've seen you got involved with it recently.
Oh, yeah. We're proud to be part of the Frankfurt Cruise Night. Check it out. It's in downtown Frankfurt. It runs every Monday starting June 6th, which is today. May not be because of the weather, obviously.
Yes, weather dependent.
Right. And it runs through September 26th in downtown Frankfurt. It runs from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Monday. All cruise nights are obviously subject to weather, and while you're down there, check out some of the shops and restaurants in the area, which you've got a ton of places to eat from, and many of them are participants with the Frankfurt car show.
Right. And I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but there's lots of people that just take their kids and walk around and let the little kids look at the cars, and just seems like a nice night for families.
Oh yeah, I mean there's plenty to do down there, and like I said, you got plenty of restaurants. You got Fat Rosie's, Francesca's, Trail's Edge.
Oh yeah,
that's just to name a few.
All kinds of yummy food over there.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't go wrong. I mean there's plenty of stuff to do.
A couple ice cream places, a candy shop.
Oh yeah, definitely go there and check it out. Now, but we can talk about ice cream and food all the time. I mean it's lunchtime, and we don't want to do that. But now we're going to talk about you.
Oh, sweet.
It's all you. It's all you. Because you, at Floor For You, see how I brought that in together?
I did.
The products that you guys have there, and I've always, even whenever I see your name thrown out there, wherever I see it, I am just 100%. Two things that you do, the product that you have and that you sell, the CoreTech products, and the warranties that you give. With me, everybody who's come on the show, I've stressed my infatuation with warranties, because they are so important to people who are spending their hard-earned dollar to get things done, and money is too tight to come by to just throw it away on something that is only going to last a year.
Correct. And flooring is one of the more expensive things you can do in a home. I mean, it just takes up such a large footprint in the home. So if you're going to spend a lot of money, you want to make sure it gets done the right way, and it lasts you.
Yeah, it has to look good. It has to be done right. It has to look like it's always been there. It has to be durable. And, I mean, I found, like, every time, and I'll say this every time you come on, just the durability of the CoreTech product when it comes to water is just amazing. And even talking at your open house that you did last year, the rep there was just like, oh yeah, this is one of the best products that we've seen out there.
It is hands down the best in its category across all flooring, to be honest. It's the durability is great. The comfort of it. It's not hard like if you're walking on like a hardwood or a tile. Like, it has a little bit of cushion to it. It's just the best product I know. It's a green product, so there's no off-gassing or chemicals coming out of it. There's been some scandals in the past with other floors that did that. This is certified that it'll never do that. And the reason we can give such a good warranty is because we know how good of a product it is, and that's how much trust we have in it.
Now, let's back up so I can kind of give listeners what we're talking about as far as flooring. This is classified as LVP, correct?
Yes, but it's more of it's classified as that. You are 100% correct. But
what is LVP? Kind of let's give listeners a backstory. Say they're looking to get their floor done.
So LVT stands for luxury vinyl tile, or LVP stands for luxury vinyl plank.
Okay.
Now, a pure vinyl plank, in my opinion, is not the best. It expands and contracts too much. It has kind of issues. What makes Cortex so much better is it's an engineered vinyl plank. And I guess the best way I could compare that to you is like there's engineered hardwood versus true hardwood, solid hardwood. So instead of it being pure vinyl, it's made of things like porcelain, ceramic, bamboo, PVC, just all kinds of things that make it completely dimensionally stable. So it's not going to expand and contract. So like if you have a beveled edge floor, like people used to be scared of beveled edges because when it came with wood expands and contracts and it opens up and gunk falls in there and then it closes back up and now you've got gunk all caught up in your bevels. This product doesn't expand and contract, so you never have to worry about things getting caught in beveled edges, and you can really enjoy the look of those floors nowadays, where in the past they were really hard to keep clean.
Now, what does that do with installation on that? I mean, because I know the old days they tell you had to have a space between the
perimeter,
and things like that.
You still want to have a space all the way around, because regardless if your floor expands and contracts or not, your home does. And the average home in our area expands between 3/4 of an inch and an inch and a half from one end of the home to the other through season changes out here by us.
See, that right there, and I want to stress on that, is when people come on the show and they're experts in their field and they know their product, they're giving stats, they're giving numbers, they're giving information that is going to help the homeowner. And when you have this kind of in-depth information regarding the products that you're selling, that shows that you truly know what you're doing. You're not just installing flooring and just paying lip service to whatever the rep told you that you're going to get. You're actually doing the research. You know the math, you know the numbers of what it is you're installing.
Absolutely. And you probably don't even know this, but anytime a new product comes out, I buy 5 boxes of it and I install it in my own home, whether it's a bathroom or a kid's bedroom or whatever, to test it, to see how it's going to hold up, to make sure it's a good product, I have to truly see that it does what everybody says it's going to do, because that's very rare. Very, very rare. So I test everything, and if it's no good, we get rid of it.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, Matt is not wrong. I've been to his house. We did a bathroom in his, helped him work on the bathroom in his basement, and I will tell you, he has got the flooring that he sells at his showroom. He has it in his home. And you used it for a couple different applications. I mean, it's not just for flooring.
Oh, no. You can put it on the walls as like a barnwood look, as an accent wall. I've put it on the ceiling in between like the Crawford beams, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. I'll do anything with it. I treat it like wood. My bar posts are made out of Cortex.
Yeah, they are. I remember when we were trying to find a leak that you had.
Right.
Well, it's just having that kind of flexibility and durability to be able to use it in that manner, and like I said, the flexibility of being able to use it wherever you want, that makes the product just, that much more unique and something you should have.
Yeah. And then there's one common myth out there that I think we should clear up. Nothing on this earth is scratch proof. It's just not. The flooring that we sell is highly, highly scratch resistant. Your kids are never going to scratch it. Your dog's never going to scratch it. But if you were to drag a heavy piece of furniture across anything that had something sharp on the bottom, you're going to scratch it. You would scratch the concrete or the plywood underneath the floor. So really, the only thing you need to do to protect your floors, which is obviously we go over this with everybody, but is you just want to make sure you have felt pads under all your furniture.
Okay, I'm going to ask a flooring question here right off the bat, because this is what, we see people when they're having their debates on the type of flooring that they're going to get. Everyone has their opinions. You're going to have, the ceramic, the wood floors or the hardwood floors. You're going to have the LVP. You're going to have the different types of floors. Okay. If you can you run through real quick the pros and cons of the major floors out there that are for sale today?
Where do you want to start? Pick one.
Okay. Let's go ceramic. Pros.
Pros are it's very durable to some extent. I mean, if you're going to be dropping heavy things on it, you take the chance you can crack it. It's not necessarily waterproof, but at the same time, if you were to spill something heavy on it or a heavy amount of water, chances are you're not going to have any problems. The biggest thing with using a ceramic or a porcelain, the whole tile game changed about 7 years ago. It's not just mix up some mortar anymore and slap it on the floor. Like, it has to be mixed per the manufacturer's mixing arrangements, I guess you would say. Like, you literally need to have a measuring cup and put the proper amount of water in there. Everything needs to be leveled flawlessly. Your subfloor needs to be leveled flawlessly. So I guess the biggest con to tile nowadays would be the expense of it, because there's not a ton of people who are overly qualified nowadays. It's the ones who 7 years ago or so who jumped on all the new trends and kind of made their way up. But tile is probably the most costly thing you could put down nowadays. And that's what the biggest con is for people.
Difference between porcelain and ceramic?
Porcelain's just got a higher shear strength rating.
Okay.
Porcelain can also be, if it's a frost-proof porcelain, it can be put outside.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, so I tiled my dad's garage floor with frost-proof porcelain ceramic tile. That's been down about 12 years.
Still look the same as it was when it put in?
Not a single crack.
Nice. Well, that's another thing with tile, and I guess it's with anything. If ceramic tile is probably or porcelain tile, same.
Porcelain is the main thing used on floors nowadays.
As durable as it is, if you don't install it correctly and you don't use the right adhesive holding it down, you have an air pocket in there, you drop something on it at that spot, that's a weak point, correct?
Correct. And you see on our pages, people are constantly talking about my grout's failing, I need this fixed on my shower. It's too much money to not get it done the right way.
Right.
Tile is not overwhelmingly popular out here anymore.
Why is that? Expense?
The expense is a large part of it, but bathroom floors, showers, I mean, that's a lot of tile gets done, but not a lot of main floors out here are we doing tile anymore.
Okay.
And the other thing about it, too, is, I mean, obviously you're buying a floor, you're going to put it down. You always want to make sure it's going to last you 10 years. The expense to rip tile out later is also going to be double, triple what the expense to rip anything else out is, too.
So basically what we're going off of is the fact of, with people changing, their tastes changing every so many years, that they're not looking for the long term, especially with some of the options available with the LVP or the LVT type of products that will give you a look of tile without the expense of the...
Correct. And then if you go that route, there's no grout joints to clean, so you don't have to worry about that either. Otherwise, I mean, to keep your tile looking amazing, you're going to want to be getting your floor pretty much steam cleaned once a year to keep that grout clean.
See? You're listening to the Prepare to Repair show here on WJOL 1340, and you're listening to the flooring expert, Matt Pehr, with the Floor for You. And just to get this information here, a lot of people probably didn't know just that little bit that you gave on ceramic flooring, and we didn't even touch hardwood or even get into that much with LVT.
Right.
We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to get into hardwood flooring. Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Cram Plumbing, Plumber Steve, as I am affectionately noted by my daughter, who gave me that nickname. I'm back here with Matt Pehr with Floor for You, and before the break, we were discussing the differences in flooring, and one of them was we were just talking about the ceramic floor, and I asked him about we were going to go into hardwood floor.
Real quick, back to the tile. It's a great long-term option. I didn't want anybody to think like I was trying to like deter tile. It's a great option. It'll last you a long time. You have to decide if you want to keep your floor for 25 years.
Right.
So,
I think that's where we're at, though. I mean, a lot of people they like to change, whereas
correct.
I think the vision that people have has changed, whereas before they do a bathroom and they'd be done with it for 25 years. And now you have people like, okay, I've done it here, done it 5 years ago. I want to change. And
yeah, the average remodel is every 5 to 10 years now.
Yeah, which is crazy considering what was prior to that.
Well, we got all these new trends shoved in our face every which way on the TV, so
I think that's what's fueling a lot of this. If that wasn't there, it probably wouldn't happen.
All right, you want to talk about hardwood. Hardwood's biggest misconception is it's meant to be brought back to new. It's never meant to stay looking new. It will scratch. It's going to scratch. I'll just keep saying it's going to scratch, it's going to scratch, it's going to scratch, because that's what it's meant to do. So if you think you're going to put a hardwood floor down and it's not going to scratch, please don't put a hardwood floor down.
But it's going to hold up to the dogs.
You're going to see all the dog's nails marks through your hardwood.
I know.
Guaranteed. But that's okay. It can be brought back to new. That is one of the lures of it. But with that being said, it's not just the expense of redoing your hardwood. You're going on vacation while you redo your hardwood because you cannot be in the house. One, the smell, even though it's not bad for you, is overwhelming. Two, you can't be kicking dust and debris up in the air that would get into the new finish of your floor.
Correct.
So it just adds to the cost every time you want to do that. And I'll throw another one out there for people. You can find almost nobody that will refinish your engineered hardwood floors. The layer on it's just too thin and nobody wants the liability of it. I don't know why this is not told to the customers prior to purchasing engineered hardwoods.
What are they told? Are they told that it can be refinished?
I've heard people say it can be refinished all the time. The problem is nobody will touch it.
Huh. That's interesting to know.
Mm-hmm. Now, what makes engineered hardwood appealing? It's dimensionally stable. It's not going to expand and contract as much. The joints aren't going to open up as much. There's no staining in the house. It's just come in, install it, get out.
See, that's aggravating to me because, again, it's one of those things where you give me everything I know as a customer right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You give me all that information. Then I can make an educated decision on what I want to do. That's all you need to do.
This is what you're talking about here, the entire reason that I opened the floor for you. Because of all the misconceptions and things not getting done right and materials being sold that shouldn't be sold. And we could have this aggravation talk for the next 4 episodes.
Okay, hold on a second. So the reason why you got into this is because you saw the way people were doing it and you figured you know you can do it better.
I've been in flooring for like 16 or 18 years. I'm not going to do the math right now while we're doing this.
You could take your shoes off. It's okay.
I opened the store because I felt like people were being taken advantage of tremendously.
Okay.
I don't know how far you want to go into this or how much time we have.
Well, but the reason why I asked that is I got into doing what I do and going off on my own was because when I worked for somebody, it was their company.
Mm-hmm.
It was their philosophy. I didn't slam my head against the wall trying to change their philosophy.
Correct.
Because it wasn't mine.
Right.
What I figured, and I've done this as being when I lived in my parents' house. What did they tell you when you lived in it? My house, my rules. You want to have your own rules, you go and you
get your own
house and you can have your own rules.
Right.
So when I was working for someone and I thought I could do it better. I thought I could do things differently. I didn't fight and make them change their rules and try to do anything to them. What I did was, okay, I'm going to do things my way that I think I can do it better. Either I'll sink or swim at it. And I like the fact that you did this, that's how you did it. That's how a lot of your new companies are born and that are making a difference, that are making an impact. And that's what I love to see. Now, you have people that leave other companies because they're, whatever reason, the scheduling, they can't show up for work or they can't do it. Well, I'll just go off and do my own thing and then I don't have to answer to a boss. But ultimately you do, because instead of having the boss that is the company owner, now you have the boss that's the homeowner.
Correct.
So you just traded one, and one is a little bit more forgiving than the other.
Yes.
So it's just, just hearing you say that, it's like that's how, when you're looking for a company and you're trying to find that small business to give your money to, you're looking for that one that's looking to make an impact, that came out to make a difference, that is making moves to change the industry, change the game. And like your warranties, what you're doing, the stuff that I see on there, that is industry leading.
It has to be. It's the right way to do it. If you're going to tell somebody that their flooring is going to last them a long time, how are you not going to stand behind it?
Well, there's a lot of people out there that sell water heaters, and they put water heaters in, and the manufacturer gives a 6-year warranty. Okay, cool. I'm only giving a 1-year warranty. Well, I bought the water heater from you. Well, okay. So, I don't know anything about water heaters.
The difference between both of us is we truly care about the customers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My main goal, my end result is to provide the best customer service, the best product, and headache-free experience. And when I mean headache-free, I'm being a little selfish, because if they're headache-free, I'm headache-free.
Correct.
If they're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
it's a wildly hard concept, isn't it?
It's amazing. So, and no matter who works for me, that level of service and that level of commitment and that philosophy stays the same. Just same with you. No matter who installs it, it's still Matt is the one who's making sure that this happens.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it.
Exactly.
There's no in between.
Oh yeah, it's all about the product. And I assure you, I've made mistakes along the way in getting to where I can get that kind of service, and I will continue to, as I strive for that perfection, to get that product to where it is the best of the best. I'm not there yet. I know I can get that better. And again, I will make mistakes along the way, but that is how you truly perfect where you need to be.
Oh, absolutely. I make mistakes all the time. It happens. But you know what happens when I make a mistake? Correct it. Yeah. It's not really a mistake anymore.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where you have an issue, you resolve it. That shows your integrity. That shows the type of person and company you're running. And that is the difference. And people need to stop accepting the mediocre or the being less than as a customer after you spent your money.
I completely agree.
Need to demand more. You need to set that bar and say, hey, this is not okay. I bought flooring from you. I want it to be a certain way. And let's everybody step up the game. Steve, you came out here and your guys did this job. I am unhappy. You come to me, I'm going to make sure you're happy with it.
We just did a job for a customer whose daughter is special needs. She didn't have a floor for the last 8 months. Just raw plywood with staples sticking out because somebody was doing her floor and just kept giving her the runaround. 8 months. I went over there. We had the job done within a week and a half. Complete, finished, done.
And that's materials?
Materials, installed, finished.
Okay.
You can't leave people's houses like that.
No.
And it's just aggravating, to be honest.
You want the product to be the best it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Your name's on it.
Yeah.
And that is the key thing. When I'm looking for professional plumbers, you're looking for professional installers. I want somebody that when they're doing that plumbing job, them to look at that and go, that's not meeting my professional standard. Just like when you have somebody putting in a floor, go, you know what? Yeah, it would be okay for someone. This is not okay for me. I want this to be notches above that. That is what you want.
It's how it should be, yeah.
Right. It's just being a professional.
But it's a fine line, because if customers are searching the internet looking for how you should be doing your job, they might be finding bad information.
Right.
Which is possible too. So it's like, how do you find that happy medium?
Well, what you do is I've run into that where customers have researched the internet and said, well, I saw that they're supposed to do this. Well, and I say, okay, well, they're doing it that way because of, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. I say, but the thing is with the difference between them doing it on the internet and me doing it in front of you is, one, that is a controlled environment that they controlled everything there to make that video. This is real world, where I'm encountering real world issues and problems that I have to adapt on the fly to make this work. So, and whatever I do here, I own it. I have to make sure it's satisfactory. I have to make sure it's up to code.
Right.
And I have to follow plumbing code. Because
and code is different from state to state to state as well.
And it's actually from town to town. They have different amendments that are going to vary. You'll have two towns right next to each other, and one will have a different code on certain things than the other. Plumbing code as far as that. It gets a little frustrating, but, you just have to.
It's part of the job.
Right. It is what it is. So,
But that's the part of the job that makes you better than other people, is the code from town to town to town to town.
Have to. Otherwise, you're doing it twice, 3 times, or you're having to be told that, okay, this is not, okay here. And I've actually brought that up where somebody put in, there's a town that requires only L copper, which is the blue copper. And someone put in a whole bathroom in the type M copper, which is red. It looked great. You take a picture of it, it would pass anywhere. But this town required L copper. So all that copper had to come out.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's a phone call.
Copper's cheap right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a phone call. And it's one of those things where you can argue a rule or argue a code. You can't argue it after you broke it. After you didn't do it. You're pleading your case, but it's there. It's not like it was hidden. It was sprung on you, like when you install, flooring, you have manufacturer specs and directions on applications on where things are supposed to go.
Correct. This
is not a need to know basis. You're getting that information so the product that you're using, what it can be used for and what it can't be used for. And that's where it comes down to having the knowledge, the expertise, and being a professional of what you're doing.
You know what? Something that nobody ever considers in flooring? If there's ever going to be a wheelchair in the house. Flooring has to be treated so differently if there's ever going to be a wheelchair in somebody's house.
What do you mean?
There's pinch point loads from the turn points of the wheelchair.
Okay.
So when they're constantly turning in the same spot, it's going to start to rip up whatever kind of flooring you have. It'll eventually shred wood. It'll tear up anything.
Because of the rubber from the wheels. And
just the constant pinch points in the hallway of where people are turning. So it just depends for each type of flooring. There's a different application that you do in each scenario.
Did not know that.
Yeah, most people don't. So I'm just getting information out here.
Again, it's having knowledge of the products, the applications, and various applications and challenges that they're going to run into that you should know about. And you're listening to the Prepare to Repair show here on WJOL 1340. I'm your host, Plumber Steve, with RJ Graham Plumbing, and I've got Matt here with thefloorforyou.com. And we're talking flooring and just basically general do's and don'ts of just acceptability of projects and work that's being done in your home. And and like I said, I've always said warranties. But that when you get a good company, good reputable company that stands behind their stuff, that warranty is going to be pretty much a given, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
you should still always ask, though.
Right. And I mean, the products, you should get a whole layout. This is the product I'm getting. This is the warranty I'm going to get. This is everything. I was putting in a water heater actually last week, and the customer started asking about us, and they're like, okay, well, what's your price? I gave her the price, and what kind of warranty? And I said, this is the warranty that comes for it. And she says, oh, that the price seems kind of high. I said, the warranty is, this is what it entails. 6-year manufacturer you're going to get from anybody. Mm-hmm. But we give a 6-year warranty on labor, which covers any manufacturer cover repairs or replacements. Plus, we give an annual water heater flush and inspection for each of those, for each year of those warranty years. So a minimum total of 6. So this way, you're getting maintenance, you're getting an inspection on it, so we can find out. And the reason why we do that is it's there to see if anything's happening with it that may not. Like we've been to a couple places where they had a water leak or something leaking on top of it and corroded the top of the water heater. And then the water heater had an issue. I can't do anything with that.
Why people mess around with plumbing and try to go cheap on it baffles me.
Because the worst
we're
thing that
talking gas lines, we're talking water heaters.
Worst thing that happens is
don't skip there.
Yeah. Well, the worst thing that happens is they get wet. I'll get wet, or I can do this, and a lot of the stuff they go to, the big box stores, and I can get these fittings that'll work, and they work. But I would just say there's certain things that you like to do that are in your wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. If there's certain things that you can do plumbing related that are in your wheelhouse that you know are going to make it work, that you can do and you know it's going to work and you can do properly, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But if you are uncertain and you're going to do something just to do it, odds are you're probably not going to do it correctly, and you're going to have to get it redone. Just like, with plumbing, it's usually hidden.
Oh, just like when you did my basement and they screwed up the plumbing when they originally roughed in the house.
Oh, yeah, that dream was kind of, that wasn't good. But that's hidden.
Right.
But if I went and did a floor, I went to your store and I bought, say, 1,500 square feet of Cortec floor. Mm-hmm. And I go and I put it in.
You should buy it before June 30th.
Okay, exactly right. You know what it's going to look like. I don't care how good I am. I'm not going to do it as good as you and give you that. And everybody's going to know that I did it.
Yeah, probably. A lot of that would have to do with the floor prep and the stagger and the way you did it. But yeah, there would absolutely be a difference.
Exactly. They'll know that I did it. It'd be visual.
I'm not even going to say I know how to do plumbing, but I have general knowledge. Mm-hmm. I still have you come over and do all of it. It's not worth it to me to take a chance of messing something up.
And if something
it could
goes
be
wrong,
devastating.
If something goes wrong, Steve?
Right.
You got a problem. And speaking of that, your specials.
Oh.
I got to hear about that. Matt's got specials over at the floor for you in Mokina.
Specials. No. No joke. We're calling it a sale, but it's not a sale. The prices of everything have just gone through the roof. Everybody knows this. And everybody knows sales are kind of scams, too. Buy one, get one free, but, it costs double. We did a lot of negotiating with our manufacturers to get really, really good pricing up until June 30th. These are prices that are pre-pandemic prices. $2 off a foot on a lot of the flooring. Whatever discount we got, we passed it directly on to the customer. There's no extra profit to be made. There's no extra money to be made. It is literally just to help the customer who wants to get flooring save a little bit of money while we got the good prices.
Really?
By a little bit, I mean a lot, because it's a good chunk of money, especially if you're doing your main floor.
Nice.
So figure a 1,200-foot main floor, times that by 2, 2,400. That's how good the prices are. $2,400 off right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long is that till?
June 30th.
Okay. That's pretty.
It doesn't have to be installed by June 30th. It just has to be purchased by June 30th.
Okay. There you go. So And where's your showroom at?
We're at 9614 Willow Lane in Mokina.
Okay, well, that's pretty cool to know. And now I wanted to bring something up here because actually, we got a little bit of an announcement here too. Is I am Plumber Steve.
Yes, you are.
But I'm also. I'll let you make you can make that announcement. Certified.
Oh, we have a certified plumbing inspector among us.
Yep. I am now a certified plumbing inspector with the state of Illinois. So Plumber Steve is now certified plumbing inspector Steve.
That's a huge achievement for all the people that don't know that.
That is pretty cool. I had a little bit more, I guess, add more to my credentials.
Repertoire.
Yes. So that's pretty cool to know. And
congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And we're going to talk about something else with Plumber Steve that I came up with. And you're going to be the first, not only on the show, but as far as something else that we're doing. We're going to take a quick break here on the Prepare to Repair show on WJOL 1340. And we'll be back here with Matt and Plumber. Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Plumber Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing. And back with me is Matt, the flooring extraordinaire with the Floor for You and owner of Perfection. Is it Perfection Remodeling?
Perfection Home Improvement.
Oh, okay. I had it right the first time. I apologize for that. And one thing I'm looking to do here, and I wanted to bring a little something up to the show. And having contractors out there, I started a thing that I think Matt falls into as a Plumber Steve approved business. And my daughter made up that joke calling Plumber Steve when she would talk to her friends and she'd say, and they'd do something at their house or something. She goes, and she would say, that is not Plumber Steve approved. So it was a little chuckle we have. And I'm thinking, you know what? I gotta come up with a thing that is a Plumber Steve approved business that can be on the radio show. And I thought, what would it take to be a Plumber Steve approved business? And I'm going to see if Matt at the Floor for You and Perfection Home Improvement would fall into a Plumber Steve approved business. I went through this criteria and you passed with flying colors. But I'm going to ask you, years in business, how long have you been in business?
About 16.
Okay. And your warranties are?
Phenomenal. I mean, they're different for different categories, but we do give lifetime warranties on Cortec flooring.
Okay. And labor?
That same thing.
Okay. And as far as licensing, you're licensed for everything that you're doing?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And let's check the other one. Just by some of your knowledge that you're throwing at us as far as your product line and knowledge of particular different types of flooring, you have proper trade certifications. I'm guessing you've been to several different types of...
Oh, I have probably 25 trade certifications.
That's what I was going to say. They do have these different
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Some of them you just kind of sign up for,
right.
But the majority of them you actually have to go somewhere, do their training, take their test, blah, blah, blah.
Well, but
they are highly beneficial.
Well, the thing is there's a difference between just installing it and being a professional to install it. Taking that next step and learning from the manufacturer, that's the best. That's the best way.
Yeah, it's not as simple as just slapping a floor down.
Exactly. Well, that's why when we did this faucet giveaway, we had Ferguson Supply who sells it. We had the rep from Delta who was along with it providing it, so that, and we were supplying the labor. So that means any issues we had in the field, we can go to Ferguson. We can also go to the rep. We have the 3-tiered approach.
Correct. To
be able to do that. So that means you're supplying the labor, you're getting your Cortec from the manufacturer.
Correct.
And you can also contact any reps or any manufacturers, any issues that you have that those points of contact for
Absolutely.
all the flooring that you install.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. And you have You're insured, general liability, comp, and all everything.
Work comp, everything.
Okay. And I checked your ratings, and I don't think I saw a bad review on you.
Everybody gets a bad review.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is...
You're not a real business unless you have a bad review.
What I mean... Okay. Exactly. That is true. That is true. What I'm saying is
no,
I'm looking at reasonable reviews. Yeah. I'm looking at, that somebody who is used you, who is, they give them. And what I mean by the good, they're going into detail
Correct.
about what
and there's
done.
multiple sources you can find it from too, not just one location.
Exactly. That's what I meant by that. So you're highly rated and reviewed, and your customer service. I've heard nothing but great things regarding your customer service and getting in touch and dealing with customers and giving them the product that they want. So,
yeah, it's not that complicated.
No, it's not. It's the reason why, you were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth,
So that's the whole thing. I mean, you actually have to listen to what they want.
Exactly.
Then you can start showing them stuff.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it is. You have to ask the right questions as well.
Do you have kids? Do you have pets? So on and so forth.
I found when I would ask people when they're having plumbing issues, I would ask them a lot of questions. Most customers are forthcoming and give you the information.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get some that, that's irrelevant. I just need you to fix it. It's like, well, the problem is if I go off of what you say, I'm in a no-win situation.
Correct.
Because if I do what you say and it doesn't work, then why'd you listen to me? You're the professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things where, I need to diagnose and make sure that what the issue you're having is exactly the issue you're having so I can get you the right repair.
How do I explain this analogy? When you go to the doctor, if you lie to the doctor, they cannot treat you properly.
Yeah.
When we come to your house, if you lie to us about your house, we can't treat your house properly.
Exactly.
Same concept.
It's the garbage in, garbage out. The information that...
We don't care what you messed up.
Exactly.
We just need to know what you did.
Exactly. The results that I give you are going to be based on the information that you provided.
Mm-hmm.
But there's often times that you'll tell me one thing, but that house is telling me a totally different story. So that is the main thing. The best in dealing with customer service, or the best thing in customer service, or the best way to get the best customer service, is to be as forthcoming and as informative as you can with whoever you're hiring. So you've fallen in that. Exactly what you're saying, it rings true across the board, no matter what business you're in. And let's see, responsiveness to new and existing customers, especially when it comes to product or labor issues. And I found that, there was, people asking questions even about a floor that you put down. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, we'll send somebody out there to go look at it right away. I mean, immediately within minutes of something being put out.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is fantastic.
Yeah. We'll go back and fix everything for everybody. I mean, and that doesn't mean that there's necessarily something wrong. It could be, somebody was moving a fridge after we finished their floor and they need help. The one thing I would say about that is because I'm on most of the jobs, it might take me a week to get back to your house because we have to finish up the other customer's house, but we will always come back.
It's the personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that, that people want, is in order to get that personal touch with that small business, it may take a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, not necessarily a bad thing. I try to give my personal touch on all of it. A lot of the jobs that are being done that my guys do, I watch. I watch the guys that are working. My name's on it.
Right.
And does that put a lot of stress on them? Yeah, because they have to bring their A game. So it is what it is, because my name's on the line. You have to bring your A game.
Correct.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And again, you're a professional. I always thought of it this way. I don't care where I'm working. I could have the President of the United States and everybody watching me. My job still stays the same. I still have to perform.
I completely agree.
That's the way it goes. So we'll run through these other three real quick. And one of them is price. And that's going to be relative and competitive to what It's out there, but
until June 30th.
Oh, okay. Until June
where
30th.
Nobody can touch it.
Exactly. And the quality of the product and or services that you offer, which is, I mean, that tells a lot about what you're doing, the type of warranties that you offer, your customer service. So that kind of goes into the same thing, but the quality of the product, meaning Cortec, using quality products and providing that white glove service, as you call it, that people are getting that top-notch service that they that exceeds what everybody else is offering.
When do I pick up my Plumber Steve approved plaque?
Oh, you're going to get yourself the once I do that little logo, you're going to be all good. And your company history, your history of just being in business and being able to
like I said, we've been for 16 years, and 5 years ago, roughly 5 years ago, we opened the Floor for You as just an extension to get customers good products that were going to last.
Well, I want to congratulate you. You are now a Plumber Steve approved business, and I will say that to everybody that asks, and I will put it on social media.
Awesome.
So, and now people want to get a hold of you over at the Floor for You. How do they reach you?
Like I said, we're at 9614 Willow in Mokina. Our phone number is 855-535-6678, or their social media, any of them, or our website, thefloorforyou.com.
Okay, and if you have any questions or comments, or you want to talk about a Plumber Steve approved contractor, you can reach out to us at the show at 708-964-5500. And as always, head out to Ferguson Supply for all your kitchen, bath, lighting, and appliance needs. Your dream kitchen and bathroom is as close as Tinley Park. I want to thank everyone for listening and joining us here on the Prepare to Repair show. As your host, Plumber Steve, and Matt with Floor for You. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you next week. Have a good week, everybody.